If you haven't checked TikTok in the past 10 years, you might not know about the most popular science contest in the world, the egg drop. If you're making pancakes on Sunday morning and you accidentally drop an egg on the kitchen counter, it breaks, even if it falls only an inch. For the egg drop, students are challenged to create a device that will carry their egg without breaking when dropped from hundreds of inches. In some cases, students create a device that succeeds in avoiding the fate of Humpty Dumpty, but is so jaw-droppingly beautiful to behold that spectators won't even notice if the egg didn't break because they'll be blown away by the beauty of such an original work of art. The challenge of the egg drop is to keep the egg from breaking. Duh. Science teachers sometimes provide design ideas to help students succeed in meeting that challenge. Here's an example of student projects that resulted from a very helpful teacher. The good news, every drop was successful. The bad news, every drop was the same. Well, not exactly the same, but a spinning multi-blade helicopter with eggs suspended below in a padded container to protect the egg during impact is an apt description of every project. In any case, students design and construct a device. During the big day, they bring in a really tall truck to do the drop-in, or go to some high place on campus to drop their creation and watch white-knuckled as their eggs plummet down, either to meet a horrible death or to make the perilous journey with, drumroll please, nary a scratch or crack. The look of delight on students' faces when they open their device to find the good news is unforgettable. Sometimes the whole school gets involved in the gala affair. I take a more open-ended approach. Instead of helping students design a project that protects the egg, I provide no guidance and no constraints. If students want to prevent the egg from breaking, great. But if they want to come up with a spectacular way to destroy the egg, that's great too. To get them really thinking outside the box full of padding and egg, they're also told, for your egg drop, you don't have to drop an egg. The egg drop is science, artistic design, and street theater all wrapped up in one lesson. This gift of total freedom, rarely found in schools focused on high test scores, has students scratching their heads at first, but pretty soon they start to awaken their creative abilities, unmeasurable with the Scantron and thus rarely encouraged, and realize that yes, school can be fun. The lesson that results takes student engagement to a whole new level. One of the intriguing benefits of the egg drop is that grades become irrelevant. Often grades are used for, well, might as well say it, to force students to do a task they'd rather not. Once the "since this is pointless assignment, I'll just watch, thanks" crowd starts to see how excited their classmates are, they usually can't resist joining in, not for the grade, but for the fun. The egg drop is not about dropping eggs. That's too easy. It is about many things: product design, testing, and modification. That is turning an idea into an actual dropping device. Teamwork, tool use, shop skills, and more. But the most important benefit of doing the egg drop is that students are left to their own devices to solve a problem. The helicopter droppers we saw earlier and helicopter parents have something in common. In both cases, well-meaning adults attempt to make a student's meeting a challenge less frustrating, less uncertain, less likely to fail, more guaranteed of a successful outcome. This is called risk adverse. This actually works to diminish the potential benefit to the student because frustration, uncertainty, and failure are all what egg drops are really about. So why all this negativity? Shouldn't high school be a positive experience? where success leads on to success in college and beyond. The book Excellent Sheep by Yale professor William Dershowitz addresses this very question. The title refers to his students, the best of the best that graduate from American high schools each year. Those students are really good, excellent, at following directions, like sheep. But life doesn't come with directions. The system, he observes, forces you to choose between learning and success. Let's unpack this pithy phrase. The opposite of success, that would be failure. If success requires avoiding failure, does not learning involve failure? Getting a B means taking a risk. The risk that top colleges may put your application in the if there's room basket. But if a broken egg means you failed, then sticking to the helicopter or other guaranteed A designs is your best bet. You might learn a lot more with the chancy idea that you came up with, but why take the risk? Though the meme, failure is a teacher, a harsh one, but the best, has gone viral, few teachers seem willing to allow their students to experience that harsh lesson. Trigger warnings are but one example of the careful avoidance of anything that might stress students. Many of my students' projects might be graded failures since the egg failed to survive, but none were failures because the students failed to follow my directions. I didn't give any directions. I did have one prohibition: no dynamite. I left them to their own imaginations. There was much greater diversity of projects that way than if I'd explained how to build a guaranteed success egg drop device. So what does creativity gone wild look like? Let's take a look. And what flavor would the cake be, madam?
Vanilla.
Vanilla, with lots of egg blood all over it, huh?
Would it be cool if you dropped us first? Because we really wouldn't want this melting at all.
Okay, well, you want to drop the metal too?
No, just this.
Yeah, sure, that's great. Yeah, that's great, sure, good.
I'm tiny ass.
So, where do I paint this?
Outside the back door, leave the kick down so you don't get locked out.
I need more nails. Where are the nails?
Whole bunch of nails on the nails box. Head up there, right in front of you there, where it says nails.
Oh, yes.
Touch down. If you're
That's so weird. That's so weird. I need to watch my
Okay, smile for the camera. Yeah, got it. Nice. You may have noticed my room is chaotic, messy, noisy, a far cry from a teacher skilled in classroom control where students are all at their desks working silently. That's quite true. There is no lesson objective on the board. I am not in control of my students. They are in control, each student having determined their own unique lesson objective. During drop day, hundreds of students came out to watch the solutions students had come up with to the challenge. No two were the same. Some were really unique. They took a lot of time and effort to make. How interesting. The assignment was entirely pointless.
Look, up in the sky. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman.
I swear, I never said anything that would have given students the idea to cover a classmate with tinfoil, wrap him up in duct tape, cut off his shell, tape up the cut, stuff the form to make it stand up like a man, dress it in Superman's true color costume, add shoes and head, position 2 eggs where human ovaries are located, and hand up to the Dropmeister on the roof for Clark Kent's final flight. If your reaction is, if the eggs broke, that project was a failure, you haven't been paying attention. So teachers, if you ever decide to do the egg drop with your students, I suggest you choose one of these two rubrics. Short and sweet, or option B. Or if you believe that sometimes grades may not be necessary to ensure students learn, don't even grade it. Finally, I'd like to leave you with this question, one you've probably asked yourself. What would happen to an egg in a microwave oven dropped from the third story? One team was losing sleep at night thinking about that one, so they decided to find out. But remembering that the egg drop was part street theater, they decided to dress up the show with a kiddie wading pool at ground zero with a large piece of plywood floating therein. I mean, really, how could you not? They learned an unforgettable lesson. Not about eggs or microwaves exactly. In fact, I'm not sure they could put into words what that lesson was, just as I'd have a hard time putting it into my gradebook, but unforgettable nonetheless.